John 6:7. Apokrithe auto ha Philippas, diakasion denarion artoi uk arkusen autois, hena hekastas brachou ti labe. Here Jesus has asked Philip, where are we going to get food for this huge crowd? And Philip answered him. Notice how the verb apokrinomai is a middle-only verb. So it follows middle and passive endings to convey a middle idea. The verb apokrinomai is a compound verb, so the has a prepositional prefix, meaning the augment comes after that. There it is right there. There's an augment. There's a theta. When you have that theta, right, it's like somebody kicking back in the easy chair, feeling passive. Right, so in form, this is an aorist passive indicative, third person singular, but conveying a middle idea, so we might call it medial passive, right? This is one of these middle-only verbs, a verb of reciprocity, where you have two parties, and if you remove one party, it can't happen. So verbs like that are frequently middle-only. So Philip answered him. There's your dative object or dative complement after the verb apokrinomai, usually followed by the dative. Philip answered him. And this is interesting, this construction. Loaves or breads, right? Loaves of 200 denarii. There's your genitive of price. So bread equal, amount of bread equal to what would 200 denarii would purchase. I think one modern translation says 8 months' wages. Maybe that gets the idea right there. So, but literally, bread of 200 denarii are not sufficient, in other words, would not be sufficient for them, dative of advantage. That arkusen, that's from the verb arkeo, which means to be enough, to be sufficient. You see that ending, that's just a third-person plural, right? Just a present active indicative third-person plural. It's third-person plural because the subject is loaves, right? Loaves of the equal to 200 denarii are not sufficient for them, right? Would not be sufficient for them. That, and we know the subjunctive is coming, and within context, this hena is probably expressing result, right? That would be the right way to understand it. Here's our subjunctive verb, labe. What is that building off of? Maybe you recognize that as building off the second aorist stem of lambano, right? The second aorist of lambano is elaban, I receive. So we have that lob stem, lob, right? So this is just a aorist active subjunctive, and it's a third-person singular ending to match the third-person singular subject, hekastas, that each one would receive some small amount, right? Even if we had 200 denarii worth of bread, it would not be sufficient for these people that each one could get even a tiny bite,